pros to prep. All your favorite action.
On Monday Night Football, after what they admitted was really bad football, how about your Broncos? Wasn't that once the thing? How about that Broncos? Oh, wait, that was something else. What's up? Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. How you feeling, Bronco fan?
How about that?
Huh?
Will Putz and Sloppy Josh. Or Lutz, excuse me.
Wow. So many things in this stinking football game. So many things in one football game. And look, we had this conversation 1,000 times. Is it credit or blame? Is it comeback or failure or collapse? Is it, one man's garbage is another man's trash, right? Did the Broncos play well? Were the Bills horrible? Did the Broncos win? Did the Bills lose? And I guess the answer is probably a combination of both, because the Broncos made some plays when they needed to. The touchdown in the back of the end zone by Cortland Sutton was insane. A great throw by Russ. I think his best throw of the year. Great play by Sutton. Javonte Williams had enough just to beat me and the Bills. And enough ineptitude by the Bills. I don't know. Did the Broncos win it or the Bills lose it?
Yes.
Okay.
Broncos won that game because they forced 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
They controlled time of possession. They put the football in the end zone. And there's always an element of both in games. But the Broncos themselves almost lost it by missing 2 extra points.
And
are thankful that Buffalo can't count.
What are we doing? If you're Buffalo, you're sitting there, like, you didn't sleep last night. You puked all night, right? You sat up and you're Sean McDermott and you vomited all night. How my quarterback has become inconsistent. How we knew what they were doing. We knew that they were going to get it to the middle of the field and rush their field goal team on. And so where's my special teams guy? All right, they're going to take a knee and field goal block, field goal return, field goal defense, rushes on. You got your 11 dudes who do that. How you've got 12 dudes out there to do that is bonkers to me. In the National Football League, Will Lutz pushes it right, you win the game. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many are we allowed, Coach? 11. It's one too many. Let that professional kicker kick again. It's just insane to me. I know we want to pin everything on Josh Allen. Everybody in the world's on Josh Allen. He wasn't great last night. But I can't blame the whole thing on him. First play of the game, James Cook has the ball ripped out of his hands. You lose the possession. Then he throws the ball that goes through Gabe Davis's hands. Where do you want Gabe Davis? Where do you want the ball to be? I don't know. In the hands seems like a pretty good spot instead of setting it like a volleyball setter for an interception. He wasn't good, but he probably was good enough to win last night. But they didn't win.
Good enough gets you 22-21. Good enough gives you an opportunity, but bad enough gets you that loss because you can't count. And Josh Allen had 2 other turnovers that were on him.
He did 100% on him.
And so 100%. That's when you have 4 of those.
Yeah,
you're losing the game. You're going to find a way to lose the game.
How do you feel about your Broncos? At 4-5 all of a sudden, and having won 3 in a row and beating the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Bills with, you got a tough stretch coming up. Vikings, Browns, Texans, Chargers, Lions. So you got a tough stretch coming up. But
this was supposed to be a tough stretch.
Yeah, it was. No, it was.
Kansas City and Buffalo. It's a reminder that it's okay to win in sport. It's wild how many teams just want to stop. How many fan bases just want their team to stop competing so they can potentially get a high draft pick and maybe get that next quarterback.
Tank.
How you feeling about Bryce Young? How you feeling about Anthony Richardson right now? Well, they're high picks. right? Your future is great. Not necessarily. And so just go out there and compete. And if the Broncos, for them to do this, it's wild because this is a team we watched give up 70 points in an NFL game. This is a team we watched stop playing in the second half against the Miami Dolphins.
As bad as it gets.
And all they've done is go out there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills. The NFL, man. The NFL.
What did you think last night?
I think the Broncos should have won by about 30. I think the play calling was awful. There's a lot of room for improvement on the offensive side. But, hey, 24-22, that's a win. And it feels good. To me, it was two average teams playing an average game.
So it's a really good point. They were gifted 4 turnovers. And they had to have a second chance at a last-second field goal to win. Now, to JJ's point, it's okay to win. You take your win, you get the hell out of there, right?
Like, if you were expecting more from Denver, I don't know what you've been watching offensively.
Well, I was expecting less, to be honest with you.
Even with the turnovers, because that team is just so... DC you saw it. DC even liked the Broncos in the game yesterday.
I did. To me, it's when you get a turnover on the first play and you're at the 25-yard line, what are you doing? It's 3rd and 12 and you're calling a run up the middle.
It's almost like you're playing for a field goal.
That's scared. That's scared football, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I because you don't trust your offense. Because
you don't trust something, that's for sure.
Well, you don't trust your offense. Right? I mean, what better position for Russell Wilson to be in? Holy smokes, look at that second play of the game. They fumbled. It was a kickoff and then the first offensive play. Right? And here you go, Russ. Here's the ball at the 25-yard line. Go do something. I agree with you. Do something. To me, that says you don't trust him. Now, I'll tell you this. He made some plays.
He did make
He made some plays. He made some plays with his legs. He ran for 30 yards. I thought he got out of some really, really dicey situations. The play he made on the touchdown pass to Cortland Sutton was I just a phenomenal throw. Like a phenomenal throw, a better catch. Just a great play. That was, wow. I didn't think Russell Wilson still had that in him. But I don't know how much I trust him.
I felt that same way, and I think Troy Aikman commented on it at one point in time. The Broncos were trying to go downfield. Buffalo still took some things away.
Okay.
And so I think there's an element of this team's not going to air it out. If you're going to watch the Broncos and expect more, you're going to be disappointed because they're just finding a way to get by right now offensively.
That's what they did.
And Russell Wilson, 24-29 for 193 yards. Like, you're not getting 300-yard passing games out of Russell Wilson. The first one, the short field, was definitely frustrating, but this is who they are offensively.
You know, Javonte Williams ran the ball. Yeah, and it feels like they've got a couple of running backs. I mean, McLaughlin wasn't great last night, but I think he's good. I think P. Ryan gives you another flavor, especially catching the ball. They were good. They good enough to win. The story feels like it's Buffalo, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, a Super Bowl contender who's now 5-5, who just lost that game at home, who now faces, they get the Jets and the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers. Like, they're very possibly not making the playoffs, which is stunning. And they're not going to give up on Josh Allen. It's going to be on Sean McDermott, right?
Yes, it is. And I think it should be.
I agree
on
with
Sean
that.
McDermott. And it's a time where sometimes you've just reached your ceiling. And we've seen that right now with the Buffalo Bills. I don't think that their window is closing because I think as long as you have Josh Allen on your team, you can find a way to compete. And I do think that we are seeing they have not had the coaches that have been able to step up and help Josh Allen advance. Like, Josh Allen is kind of stuck where he was. He's too turnover prone. So who's that dude that's in his ear? Sean McDermott obviously isn't doing it. It's not Ken Dorsey. This team had a special few seasons when Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Like, there was something there where they were clicking.
No doubt.
Josh Allen was cooking.
Well, Brian Daboll might be available soon.
And he's gone, and you're looking for, all right, who's going to help elevate Josh Allen instead of Josh Allen doing everything? Because it's clear, as good as he is, him doing everything on his own is not a good recipe for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Josh Daboll's not doing it with Danny DeVito. With Tommy DeVito? Tommy DeVito. We got a lot to do today, man. A lot to do. We're going to talk global women's basketball. JJ's Beat, 9 o'clock. Mike Bradbury, women's basketball coach Mike Bradbury, is going to be with us from UNM. Lobos are 3-0 and off to a really good start. And coming up here in about 6 minutes, Jerry Kill, New Mexico State's head football coach, is going to be with us. Aggies have won 6 in a row. The Aggies are 8-3. The Aggies are in the Conference USA Championship game, coming off a victory on Saturday past in Bowling Green, Kentucky against Western Kentucky, a team that's been really good in their league. And it's becoming one of those stories in college football. I mean, honestly, nationally, it's becoming one of those stories. Yeah, last year they got into a bowl game, and you know how they got in. And it's one of those things where people are looking at it and going, what's going on down there? And looking forward to talking to Jerry coming up at here in 10 minutes or 5 minutes about JJ, how they won, the comeback, getting down 14-0, and now what? Here they go to Auburn. How's his quarterback? Right? Mm-hmm. He said after the game, Diego Pavia was hurt. We saw him come up and look like a hamstring injury. What do you do going to Auburn? Do you just kind of take your lumps and rest people a little bit and get ready for Jacksonville State in the championship game and the bowl game? So really looking forward to the conversation with Jerry Kill. That's coming up next. 505-246-0610 is the text line if you want to get to us. That's also the phone line. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. And on the Twitter, it's _JJ Buck. We are visual as well. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26, and on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Jerry Kill, New Mexico State's football coach, next as they get ready to play Auburn. How's his quarterback? And what do they do in the next couple of games before the conference championship game? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
They've clinched a spot in the conference championship game. The Aggies with a big victory last week in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They beat Western Kentucky to win their 6th game in a row. Will be at Auburn this week, and you can make your plans for Friday, December 1st, because they will be playing Liberty in the Conference USA Championship game in their first season in Conference USA. Aggies 6-1 in conference, 8-3 overall, 6 wins in a row. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. We welcome back into the show this morning the head football coach of New Mexico State, Jerry Kill. Good morning, Jerry. How you living?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. You still wobbling in your shoes with the rest of them? I talked to a bunch of people down there. I think they're all still wobbling.
Well, no. That's the thing about it. You get to celebrate that night, and then you're back to work, and you know, we got more than a heavy load going to play in the Southeast Conference, which you wish those games were early in the year and not late. But you know, we got to go work and get ready to play them and see what happens. You just never know. But you know, and we're all excited. I wish, like I said, usually get those the season's over, but we got this one early, and we sure won't apologize for it.
Well, I want to get into Auburn in a little bit. I want to look back at last week. You get down 14-0. They took the opening 2 drives and really kind of moved the ball right down the field on you. And I thought the way your team responded with the field goal drive, and then really you dominated from there. And I don't know what the difference was if you saw something on tape, but the first 2 drives they came out and really did. They ran it at you, they threw it at you, and then your team settled down. What was the difference after those first 2 drives? Because A, it's impressive the way your team responded, but obviously B, something happened.
Well, I think that you know, we go through all the things that we talk about, and I think we've gotten mentally tough throughout the year. And you know, we did the same thing the week before, 2 weeks before that, and you know, our kids just don't panic. The coaches don't panic, and the adjustments that need to be made, they're made, and our guys are good on the field doing it. And you know, our kids never panic. They didn't, you know, start cussing each other or anything. We just go play, and we tell them, you know, when you're struggling, you just go back to your things that we taught you throughout the week, and nobody yells and screams at each other. We just go play, and you know, our kids, we call that resilience, I think, in life, and they've been really resilient, you know, through these, you know, this run that we're on right now.
Yeah, Diego Pavia looked like, I don't know if it was, at one point he grabbed his hamstring. You said after the game he played the game hurt. How hurt is Diego, and do you play him this week against Auburn?
Well, we don't know. You know, I mean, we'll know more today. We took yesterday off, and then we'll go today, and we'll see how he's moving around and that kind of thing. And the report is right now is just question mark. Until we get him moving around, we won't really know.
Jerry, look at that second quarter and the run that Jeff was talking about, too. There's a fourth down conversion in there. In those moments, is that a field position? Is it just a feel? What are you looking at when you're making that decision to try to continue a drive?
Oh, we talked about it. Me and Coach Beck talked about it, on Thursday and Friday, and I told him that, that I was going to be aggressive and that make sure you have the fourth down calls and we'll go. And so we went over the calls and we both liked them. And, it's a situational deal where, I feel like that we need some momentum or we don't want to give the ball back and to them in a certain situation. And it's one of those things where, I don't have no card or anything. We're going to do it from the 20-yard line like some other people do. I just do it the old school way of, having a feel for the game, for, all the years. And, you're wrong sometimes. You can't do anything about it. But we've been pretty consistent on fourth down, over the last 2 years. And we work on it all the time, so that makes a difference, I think.
Look, it also helps having that offensive line that you do end up with 236 yards rushing in the game. When a team gets out to a quick start, how impressive is it to still be able to run the football, to get back in a game and not panic as you talked about your team, but still be able to manage the game on the ground and not get caught just trying to throw it the whole time they get back in the game?
Well, I think there's only 8 possessions in a game, and when you get down, you got to score. But if you panic and you just start throwing it all over, the game can get out of hand. And so, you just try to, like I said, we ran the clock down several times in 1 or 2 seconds, and just try to shorten the game. And when you're running the ball, you can do those kind of things. And so we took what they gave us. We didn't get out of our game plan, and we made some key plays. And the 2 fourth down situations were awesome. And the guy that caught the ball on the first one was a redshirt freshman, and hadn't played a lot. So we wouldn't give it away. But I have an Eli or somebody else like that in there. So you gotta. Sometimes you gotta take a few chances to win, and we felt we were gonna have to do that to beat Western Kentucky before we even went in.
Jerry Kill is New Mexico State's football coach. Aggies beat Western Kentucky, who's been a team that's consistently atop the Conference USA. Beat them last week 38-29 to earn a spot in the conference championship game, which will be December 1st. We talked about your defense, Jerry, all year. And after those first 2 drives, I thought they were really good. And really, when it mattered, they had the ball. There was a one-possession game, and Mekhi Miller comes up with that pick 6. And that's what sealed it. Your defense has made big plays when they need to all year, and they did it again on Saturday.
That was certainly a big, after a long drive and then getting the pick was certainly a huge deal. And but if you talk to Nate and Melvin, and certainly talking to Nate, that was probably, when you go back and watch film, probably one of our worst defensive games we played in the last 3 or 4 games, just because, we were, we gave up some things we normally wouldn't. They ran the counter up and down the field on us, and, we haven't had that happen, and we had guys misfit, didn't get in the right place. So, when you win, you win, but that's when you grade the film the hardest, not when you lose. And so as you go through it, there's a lot of things. We're not a complete team yet, which is a good thing right now. But we both have our phases. It goes back to offense, bailing somebody out, or defense. But probably the key thing was the kicking game. It goes back to the special teams, and we're putting them in tough field position. Our punter continues to punt good. Ethan, I think, is the conference player of the week again, special teams wise. So right now, we're winning 2 out of 3 phases, and sometimes that's defense in the kicking game, sometimes that's offense in the kicking game, sometimes it's defense and offense. It's just it'd be nice to really put a full game together.
Jerry, you guys are really unique situation in some respects. So you've earned a spot in a conference championship game. You've earned bowl eligibility. You're going to play 14 games before the bowl game, and yet you got 2 games left, and 2 unique games, right? You got a game at an SEC opponent in Auburn. Jacksonville State, who I don't know if people realize how good that team is and what Rich has done there. 2 games that you want to win, but don't have any effect on your fate. But I know you want to win them because you got them. It's a bizarre situation, isn't it? Before you play a conference championship and then a bowl game.
Well, it's unique. Like I said, usually this time of year when you win, you're towards the end of the season and you win, and you don't have to. We have never been in this situation here. But it's one of those deals where you're done and you're going in a conference spot. So it's happened earlier, and we have our money game now, and which is you don't want to come out of there all banged up, and then you got Jacksonville, and then you got Liberty, and then you got to turn around and then you got a bowl game. So we played extra games. We went to Hawaii, so we've done it the hard way now. It ain't nothing been easy about it.
Jerry, you mentioned that you as a coach, as a team, there's usually that 24-hour rule. You can enjoy it, but you got to get back to work. Is this one of those games, too, when you came in on Sunday and you're like, all right, boys, we're going to a Conference USA Championship game, but guess what? Here's Auburn. Let's take a look at Auburn. You can get focused pretty quick.
Well, what we did Sunday, because we've had such a long season, is we watched video and went over the game and put that to rest. But, we lifted, but we didn't practice on Sunday, and we didn't, we're not practicing. We didn't practice yesterday to try to get their legs underneath us. That's where we got to be careful. These 15 games like an NFL schedule.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful on how we handle them during practice.
All right, the Auburn game. Everybody play. How do you look at this one late in the season? You said typically you play these games in September and you get them out of the way. Now here you are with so much on the line. You don't want to come out of there beat up. You got a quarterback that might be dinged up a little bit. Do you play everyone? How do you look at this game with 2 to go, plus the championship, plus the bowl game?
Well, I never went into, you can't, we can't just not play anybody, because then you start losing timing and everything like that. So, we got to, there's been times, in my career that good things have happened out of these, and we've won them.
Yep.
And, like Auburn, that's a different beast now. That's the Southeast Conference. It's still Auburn. So, but, we're playing it just like we always do, and going to work and, watching them and seeing what we can do. And we're not approaching any different than any other game, and you can't. We'll do the same at Jacksonville and right on down the line, because then your kids go, well, don't you have any confidence in us? Yeah. And so they'll be excited to go down there and play. So, it's one of those deals where you just prepare and do what you're supposed to do and let the chips fall where they may. And, I didn't want to schedule this thing anyway. This was already done, a long time ago. But in conference now, my understanding is that you're really supposed to have these games in the first 4 games that you play. And that will help us in the following years. But now we've been dealt the cards, so you can't worry about it. You just go play and
who knows?
It's like you never know.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, Jerry, I remember a game 10, 12 years ago when you were at Minnesota and New Mexico State went up there and beat you, right? I mean, the Aggies have done it before.
Yeah, they've done it before, and I've done it in my career about 4 or 5 times. Yep. And beat it. So, and I did it at Southern Illinois. Every time we beat them, I got a job at that place. So it's kind of a unique deal now. This one ain't gonna happen that way, but I just know that we want to go down there and play hard, and when you play hard, you don't know what's going to happen. You just don't.
And you got a good football team. You're 8-3, and you're at 6 in a row, and you got a confident group down there, and they're playing well. Good luck down at Auburn. Safe travels down there, Jerry. Always appreciate the conversation. We will catch up with you next Tuesday. It'll be Thanksgiving week. Jacksonville State will be on their way in, but good luck at Auburn.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you, Jerry Kill, head coach at New Mexico State University, and he's not wrong, dude. Every year we see teams win these games. He's been on the other side. He's been on the right side. Who knows?
Got a ton of confidence, a ton of momentum. Go play some football.
Got a football team that thinks they can go down and
yeah.
win, right? I mean, well, why not? And so they'll go down. All right, you can respond to anything you heard there. Anything you heard in Jerry Killer. There's a couple of things in there about Diego Pavia, about the way they're playing defense and special teams especially. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
This report brought to you by Quality by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. The information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting.
I mean, I think Aggie fans in the past are used to games not having an impact on standings down the stretch, but not like this, right? I mean, honestly, you come down the stretch, you've got 2 games left, and with them playing in Hawaii, the 13th game, and now playing the conference championship game, that'll be 14. So they will play 15 games this year. And of course, regular season college football schedule is 12 games. So they're playing a big schedule. And the Auburn thing at this time is just the timing's interesting. Text line 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. It says, so pumped for our Aggies. Thank you for covering them without prejudice, unlike some other shows. Love the show. And then this says, Jeff and JJ, I'm going to drink that Lobo Haterade and say it makes me happy. NMSU will lose their last 4 games to include their bowl game, from Ronnie. You get your hater song going? I mean, he says, yeah, give me some of that Haterade. I want some. Yeah.
Whatever keeps you going.
Yeah. No, I mean,
light your fire.
Yeah. Knock yourself out. I mean, whatever, to your point, whatever keeps you going. A couple things in there. And I think he said it, and he's so right. Because somebody asked me the other day, and it was somebody from down there in Cruces. It was with we. Well, it was a Cruces. It was said in the we context. We rest everybody, right, against Auburn. We don't get everybody hurt. And maybe you rest your quarterback if he's not healthy. But
if there's a question mark.
Right. But as Jerry said, he says any players look at you and say, you don't have any confidence in us?
I think
I thought it was a great point.
Yeah, you play that game like you would in another game. If you're in a tight competitive football game, you keep it going. If things get away from you, all right, you start picking your spots.
And get other guys in there, and you want to get out of there healthy. Like, Auburn is, and it's Hugh Freeze. What happened last time Jerry played against Hugh Freeze, do you recall? Because I do. Mm-hmm. They beat him. Aggies beat him at Liberty last year, 40-something, right? Now there's a different deal. Auburn's won their last 3. They beat Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. They are 6-4. Beat UMass, Cal, and Samford. Lost to Texas A&M, Georgia, LSU, and Ole Miss. So they're, and look, this is a good SEC team. They're not a great SEC team, but SEC teams are with the athletes, with the money, with the, I mean, right? You know what you're going into at Auburn. I'm going to guess they figure this is another easy win before the Iron Bowl, right? I mean, if there's a trap game in there somewhere, would this be it?
Yeah, these are usually the games where for the SEC, it's a bye week late in the season.
It's what they try to do, right?
A bye game, bye week.
I've always not liked this. I've always just not liked how the SEC late November, it's almost like it's a second one. But this week, do you know what the SEC, let me read you the SEC schedule. Always tell me how tough it is. Alabama plays Chattanooga. Ole Miss plays Louisiana Monroe. Mississippi State's playing Southern Miss. A&M's playing Abilene Christian. Auburn's playing the Aggies. Arkansas's playing FIU. LSU's playing Georgia State. And they got 2 conference games. Tennessee, Georgia, and South Carolina, Kentucky, because the networks needed something. Right? They had to feed CBS a game. I've never understood it. But it's what they do, and that's how they play it. I don't know. I'm excited to see them play. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think they're going to win. I think that would be asinine. Okay? I'm not going to tell you it's impossible. But, JJ, I watched the Aggies at 8-3, and I think you and I feel the same about them. They're a good group of 5 football team that can go and stun someone and play with someone, and I'm not going to be surprised if they're in the football game. And look, if they win, I'm going to be surprised, aren't you? I think they will, right?
Yes.
But
was it 24 points?
22
spread?
is the last I saw.
22.
Yeah, maybe it's 20. It's up to that, whatever it is. But go do it, man. They didn't.
The Auburn game doesn't define the Aggie season
100%,
at all.
100%. 100%. The latest spread is 23.5. It's been bet up. Yeah, it's been bet up. I mean, we'll see. They play without their quarterback, and look, if Diego's hurt, I keep him for the final stretch. Yeah. I mean, let the freshman play, let Eli Sauer play, and go figure it out. The other thing you talked about, JJ, special teams and how they're winning on special teams, and we've spent a lot of time talking about special teams around here, right? Their special teams have been good. Their kicker again was special teams player of the week. They put themselves in good position, field control or field position and controlling field position. I thought all year they've done a pretty good job of that.
They have. They've kept it clean, and it's huge.
They were down 14-0 on the road against a team in Western Kentucky who's been really good in that league. And that was a character game. That was a good one. All right, 505-246-0610. So that's there if you want. You can get in on this. Bruce said 10-1. If not for a couple bad losses, this could be a 10-1 NMSU club, even though Hawaii doesn't look quite as bad as 72 hours ago. How could the same Rainbows that look small and slow against the Lobos be flying all over the island against Air Force? Troy Calhoun's guys must be tired and beat up. P.S. What happened to the Jerry Kill theme song? He sent me a link. I don't know. That's what football is. I was having the same conversation with that same person the other day. Well, we could be 10-1. You know what? I'll give you the Hawaii game. They were up 17-0 in Hawaii, and that one got away. The UMass game, with all due respect, UMass beat you. I was at that game. UMass with their starting quarterback. I know what UMass's record is, or at least I know what it was. UMass beat you. I'm not gonna say you could have won the UMass game. They beat you. It was 41-30. That's to me, that's not one that got away. It just isn't. No. They jumped up and they beat you. But I will give you the Hawaii game. I mean, they could be 9-2.
Right? They're still in a great position at 8-3. Going to a conference championship game. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. UMass beat someone. They won their last two. Do you know that? They beat that Army team that beat Air Force. Mm-hmm. How about that? They beat Army, and then Army goes and beats undefeated Air Force. And
we're seeing things we haven't ever seen from Air Force. What they've done the last 2 weeks. That's sloppy football.
Well, all right, so they're in danger of losing their next two. Don't you think?
Yes. The way that they played, they had 4 turnovers.
Well, and I think they get UNLV and Boise State, if I'm not mistaken. And UNLV might be the best team in that league. And yeah, this week they get UNLV at home, and then they go to Boise to end the season. I mean, they may have gone from potentially in the group of 5 to losing their last 4 and falling out of the conference championship game. It's kind of crazy. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, we're going to do some NFL. I want to get more into the Bronco game last night. Bronco fan, where are you? How you feeling? Like, is Russ back? Do you feel better about this long-term commitment that you've made to Russell Wilson? Is he the guy? I'll tell you why the answer is probably no, but there's stuff I saw last night that I didn't think I was going to see again from Russell Wilson. Broncos win on the road in Monday Night Football. That's coming up next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday Night Football. Hey, several major businesses have shut down in Albuquerque in recent months. They're tired of losing inventory because of crime. It's happening for small business owners, too. The truth is, police don't get to rescue until it's too late because they just don't have enough numbers. Have you noticed International Protective Service officers at some local stores, Targets, Walmarts? IPS. IPS is making a major difference for them. They've made a major difference for me as well. I trust them to watch my home. They're watching hundreds of homes and businesses all over Albuquerque. They can help you too. IPS offers standing guards or 24-hour patrols to protect your business. They respond to alarms. Most of the time is 7 minutes or less. A quick armed response when a quick response is needed. IPS technology team also installs video cameras to record criminals who vandalize or steal business or home property. Video will help the police in investigations, and when bad guys see surveillance, it discourages criminal activity. IPS can set up your business so the only people authorized to get into your facility are the only ones who get into your facility. Sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm, install cameras, and set up access control. They provide the manpower and technology to protect you and your business. You've invested way too much to keep putting up with vandalism and break-ins. Call 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Go to IPSglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted,
intoxicated.
Rip. Blaster. Paint. Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough.
24-22, Will Lutz goes from GOAT to hero. Goes from having a horrific flight in the middle of the night back to Colorado to being the star and lifted up and celebrated and attaboy, Lutzy! As opposed to freaking
What a
kickers. Putts kicker. Damn kick. What did Peyton call kickers that time?
Idiot kickers.
Idiot kickers. All because the Buffalo Bills can't count. It's the opening drive, Jeff JJ and DC. Last night in Western New York. Game nobody wanted to win, it felt like. I still sit there and think the
You
Bills
win. No, you win. No, you win, please.
No, you take it. No, all right. All right, see, we missed the kick. Oh, we had too many on the field. Try it again. I mean, it really was. Here, you go. Let me get the door. No, you get the, right? You take the seat. No, you take. No, please, you take it. It was, I still walk away and I think Buffalo's better. Now, the Broncos won. They won 3 in a row. It's really all that matters. Better team doesn't always win. The Buffalo baffles me. I'm sorry, they just baffle me.
They're not better anymore. We have to adjust our expectations on Buffalo Bills. They're showing us who they are this season.
Is this coaching, or is this on Josh Allen? I can't blame the whole thing on Josh Allen. He has to eat those two, the fumble and the interception.
Yeah.
Okay? He has to eat those. The other 2 turnovers weren't his, but 2 were his, and then he drove his team down, and he got him in position to win a game.
I think that's the frustrating thing with Josh Allen is he's still can be that guy.
Yeah.
Because how many times we've talked about Josh Allen driving his team down the field, Josh Allen putting his team in position to win. But there are games where this team just needs to handle their business. And even the Broncos being a more competitive football team, you don't lose this game at home. But that's
agree.
why this year's Buffalo Bills, at this point in time, we need to adjust our expectations. I thought they were better. I thought they were going to be able to go on a run because everyone says, oh, look how hard the schedule is. Well, the Bills are that team where you look at the schedule and go, oh, we have to play Buffalo. But not anymore because the defense doesn't quite have the same bite. Just the turnover issues with everyone on that offense. And when you get to the end of the season, if you're the Buffalo Bills franchise, do you keep doing the same thing? Do you keep coming up short? And that's where I do believe that Sean McDermott and that coaching staff is in trouble. Is how are you going to reignite that franchise? How are you going to make another push forward? Because Josh Allen is still a good quarterback in this league. And your window is still open as long as you can build around him and get him to clean things up.
Josh Allen is still a good quarterback in this league. Josh Allen, does it feel like he needs one of these quarterback whispers? And I don't know if it's what's the offensive coordinator in Detroit that's getting all this love with Jared Goff, right?
Ben Johnson?
I think that's right. Or one of these guys who, look what he's doing with this quarterback. Whether it's Mike Shanahan, Ben Johnson, Mike McDaniels, one of these guys. Sean McDermott and that offensive staff, they got a lot of credit for making him better in the last couple of years, didn't they? Did they forget how to coach? Look, Josh has to eat some of this. A lot of this is.
They lost who was named the NFL Coach of the Year last year.
It was Brian Dable.
And all this. Brian Dable got Daniel Jones $40 million per year.
Okay. So did he forget how to play? Is it somebody else calling plays? I mean, look, and again, all this isn't on Josh Allen last night. Josh Allen didn't get the ball ripped out of his hands on the first play of the game. The first interception that he threw, he put it in Gabe Davis's hands. You're a professional wide receiver. Receive the ball as a professional. Catch the damn ball. Instead of setting it up in the air to be intercepted. Now, he threw a really bad interception later and he fumbled the football. But at the end, he drove his team down. You thought, kind of like he did against Kansas City in the AFC divisional game a couple of years ago, you thought he drove them down to win a game and asked his defense to make a stop, and Russell Wilson got his team in a field goal position, and 2 field goals later, Will Lutz was able to get it. Asked about the after the game. So, do you practice? If you weren't up, if you didn't watch it. So, the Broncos used their last time out with like 20-something seconds to go. Okay? And it was 3rd down, and they wanted to run it down. They didn't want to give Josh Allen another play. So, they ran a play. Russell Wilson put it over to the right hash mark where Will Lutz wanted it. They ran their field goal team on as the clock was running, right? No timeouts, no clock stop, no spike the ball. They ran the ball over, and so they run their field goal team on. And Buffalo, in turn, had to run their field goal defense on. And they did, except for they ran one too many dudes out there. Will Lutz push the ball right, game over. Oh, wait, flag on the play, all the way in the back, because dudes can count. Sean McDermott's Buffalo's coach, he was asked after the game to practice this. What the hell happened? Quote, absolutely. We practiced that 2 or 3 times this week. The substitution from dime to field goal block at the end of the day, we didn't execute it, so it is inexcusable, end quote. I don't know what else he's going to say, right? I'm going to assume he's right. I'm assuming they did practice it, right? There's reason to think that they don't? I'm sure they did. But
someone made a mistake.
I mean, damn. Quote.
It wasn't even initially, when they called it, you're like, oh, was someone caught still running off the field? What happened? And then you look and there's just 12 dudes standing there.
And the dude that was way back, what do you even need a dude way back there for? In that situation, why? If it's short.
And now you have to come back into the building. All right, guys, let's count to 12.
Well, the guy who, honestly, the guy who wasn't supposed to be there, what do you do with him? In a professional football setting, somebody should not have been on the field. Were you just sleeping during this film session? Did you? Where the hell were you yesterday when we went over this on? When we went over this on Friday afternoon.
It feels like you're either on
or you're not,
or you're off. Like, are you on the kick block? Or are you not on the kick block?
It seems pretty easy, right? or did I think my dude was hurt and I'm his backup? And Tyler Matakevich, linebacker. You can't beat yourself in those situations. You got to make sure we're locked in. Everyone knows what's going on. I mean, we practiced it. We just didn't execute it. And that's real frustrating. There's some games, they're going to be ugly at times. You just want to find a way to win it. And unfortunately, we just didn't come out. End quote. All right, so I'm going to go back to this question that we ask a zillion times. Players make plays. Is that coaching? Or is that on players right there? If they all agree, we practiced it on Friday. They all agree. We went over it 2 or 3 times. Is it the coach's fault? Did they have to go over it 4 or 5 times? I know it's easy to blame the coaches. It's the lack of discipline. And when there's penalty, yeah. Players make plays. Last time I saw a coach jump offside was, never. False start by the coach, I don't recall ever happening. If they're coached to go out, it's so easy, and I get it. Coach is the easiest one to switch, and I get it. And we talk about it at every level, right? These guys are out coaching their backside off every week. At what point is it incumbent upon the players to freaking make plays? I mean, I don't know. Who do you guys blame that on? I got to blame it on
that one's
whoever.
on the players, Jeff. But this is a team that's lost to the Patriots this year, lost to the Broncos, that lost at the New York Jets.
Yeah.
This is something more than
I'm
just
looking
the
at
players.
last night. I'm looking at last night. I'm looking at the end of that game. I'm looking at that's what cost them the game, right? Because if the field goal goes wide right, conversation this morning is a whole different story.
Well, if their running back doesn't retrieve a fumble on the fly and continue running.
How about
There's
that,
a lot
dude?
of plays.
How about that?
I mean, the field goal at the end is one thing, but there were a lot of things leading up to that.
All right, I want to talk about more of that because you bring up great points. When do we want to do Red Zone? 8:30? 8:30 Red Zone. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610. You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Celebrate your...
Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve.
Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
3 in a row for the Pumpkins. Winners last night in Buffalo were the Denver Broncos, 24-22. You heard it right here on The Sports Animal. If you're listening to the National Football League, you're listening to The Sports Animal. We thank you for doing that. Thank you for getting up every morning and spending some time with us here on the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck in D.C. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. That's the text line and the phone line, 505-246-0610. Your emails come off at Jeff at sportsanimalaBQ.com and JJ at sportsanimalaBQ.com. So I've asked the question at the end of the game, and I'm kind of going specifically to a play. Because I agree with you on culture, and they're 5-5, and they lost to the Jets.
No, but last night, that moment changes everything. That moment magnifies the issues of the Buffalo Bills. Instead of being a situation where, hey, look, we're going to keep grinding. We found a way. Yep. It is, we find a way to lose games right now.
Well, I mean, was it Sean McDermott's fault that the ball got ripped out of James Cook's hand? First play of the game? He gave the Broncos a 25-yard field? Was that bad coaching?
No, that certainly is not on the coach.
All right. Was it Sean McDermott's fault? They went downfield and Josh Allen put the ball in Gabe Davis's hands and he set it up in the air for it to be intercepted. Is that? And look, I'm not trying to absolve the coach. I'm trying to. My point here is to illustrate that there's plenty of blame to go around, and it's so easy. First of all, after a loss, and this isn't even about the Broncos for some reason, and it should be, but we'll get there. But after a loss, especially when they're a loss by a team with expectations, you got to place blame. Things don't just happen. There's got to be blame. Whose fault is it? Okay, all right. And so it's so easy to go straight to the coach. And JJ, your point's not incorrect. In fact, it's quite correct. They're 5-5. They lost to the Jets. Okay. But is it Sean McDermott or the coaching staff's fault that Gabe Davis couldn't catch a ball that was, I don't know, pretty much perfectly thrown, right?
That is players.
Is it his fault that 12 dudes ran out there when they all say, we went over this? We went over this and somebody just brain bleeped, right? Now, players got to be held accountable. You guys are right. Look, I'm not telling you this is a well-coached team, that this is a team that's performing up to standards. JJ, you said it's just time to say they're not very good. I still think they're really good. And that's where I'm struggling with this, because I think the coach is going to be fired, and I think they're going to make a change. I think that's a pretty talented team. But I just struggle, and this is really a philosophy thing with me, and it has been for as long as we've been doing the show. We always scream, well, they're well coached. Why did you make a play, dude? Make a freaking play. And all of a sudden, a guy makes a play. What a great call by the coach, right? What a great call by the coach.
It's a balance thing. Sean McDermott, he's been there 7 years, and they've had really good seasons.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sean McDermott's necessarily a bad coach, but it's also one that there's enough here that you don't want to get complacent. You know what it reminds me of? Mm-hmm. Remember when Brian Flores got fired in Miami after going to the playoffs? Now it wasn't as long of a track record, but it's like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, Brian Flores just took it to the playoffs. Mike McDaniel's ignited something into it. I think that could be what we're looking at with Buffalo.
All right. Where are you on Josh Allen? I still think Josh Allen's a really good NFL quarterback. He's got to reel in some of the two of those turnovers were on him. Two of them were not. Jim just sent me Brett Favre's numbers, and he said Josh Allen is Brett Favre. Look at the touchdowns and interception numbers. And if he ends up being Brett Favre, it's a Hall of Fame career, right?
How long have we been saying that?
Yeah.
Brett Favre 2.0 on the field.
So there is one big difference in the Bills that we haven't really discussed, and that would be Cole Beasley. Now, Cole Beasley played in the slot for them when they were winning playoff games.
Okay.
He's no longer with them. In 22, when he left, he cited that changes in the organization were the reason he didn't want to be there anymore. So,
was he specific, or did he allude to something? What was he talking about?
Just overall changes in management and the organization, and he felt like he no longer wanted to be there after saying that he wanted to be a Bill for life. So not having a slot receiver like that can take off the pressure from Davis and from Diggs, those guys are getting locked up. He doesn't have anyone to throw it to.
Well, he's kind of starting to use the tight end. I mean, he used Kincaid last night and threw at him 6 times.
And, I mean, throwing at a guy 6 times is okay, and that's fine. A rookie tight end is definitely helping a little bit, but he does not have the weapons he had at one point.
It's a really fair point. If you think about great quarterbacks,
I think he has more weapons than he's ever had.
But what he's saying, he doesn't have that underneath safety valve, right? The Edelman, who did Elway always have? Like there was always somebody underneath right, instead of the deep, because
that's a coaching thing then, because Khalil Shakir's there, and he had a really good game last week.
Yeah, and they threw at him twice, and he had 1 reception yesterday. JJ, I agree with you that as far as the deep weapons, right? Diggs and Davis are really good, and Shakir should be emerging. But do you see what you're saying is when you start thinking of those underneath that safety valve, who's his guy, right? Where does he go when he's in trouble? And it was Cole Beasley, and it's not anymore. Is that a bigger deal than maybe is being made? I don't hate that. So I mean, those guys are hard to find, aren't they? How many of those guys are in the league right now? I mean, honestly, when you look
at 2020 and 21, Cole Beasley, back-to-back years, he had 82 receptions.
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? 82 receptions is a big freaking deal. Who's Joe Burrow's guy? I mean, outside, he's got Chase and Higgins on the outside, but does he have one?
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd, probably, yeah. I mean, it's Kelsey for Mahomes. It's interesting. So you think that's as big of a deal as anything else?
It's up there. I look at this team, and I am with you, JJ. Josh Allen's a good quarterback, and as long as you have him, you have a chance. Your window is at least cracked. I question some of his decision-making.
Sure.
I mean, the backyard style football is fun to watch, but there are points where you just need to go through your progressions and throw the football to a receiver or throw it away, and you're not going to make a play every time. So it's just frustrating because it's like this guy does have an incredible skill set, but it's just not being utilized.
You know what's crazy? The more we talk about it, the more Jim's right. The more it does sound like we're talking about Brett Favre.
I mean, last week, that's what JJ said on Fill in the Blank. He is Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Just with a couple inches.
The more we talk about it, the more it sounds like, I mean, that was Brett Favre, right? The gunslinger. The old gunslinger, right? And sometimes he made the amazing, and sometimes it's like, what are we doing? Yeah. Yeah. And they're not all his fault, but I will agree with you. Since Brian Daboll's gone, he's regressed as far as the decision making, and he's got to be better. He's just got to be. It's really interesting, really interesting. All right, what about the other side, man? Your team got one, and they made just enough plays. Russell Wilson was just good enough. Who played better last night, Russ or Allen? It was Russ, right?
And with everything we're talking about Josh Allen,
yeah,
he's completing 70% of his passes.
Like, he's not horrible, like people want you to believe. If you listen to some of the national narrative, the I told you so guys who said you can't have a good quarterback coming out of Wyoming, the guys who had to shut up for 2 years while he got better, and now they're coming back out, all these national talking heads, the I told you so guys. He's not that damn good. They're getting a guy out of Oregon, and what do they do? Or out of Wyoming, what are they doing? They can't, right? Who do he play against? And then all of a sudden he became Josh Allen and was on the cover of Madden and is on your DirecTV commercial or whatever it is, YouTube, whatever. And now they're back out. I told you he sucks. Well, he doesn't suck. He's actually pretty good. But those guys, he's not as bad as people want you to think he is.
Let me ask you this. Where do you think he's ranked in PFF right now?
I don't even understand PFF. I mean, tell me the formula. Do you have any idea?
Oh, it's a combination basically of all your stats.
I'm going to guess he's still top 10.
He's number 1.
It's top 10, right? So I was correct.
You were correct.
I mean, I will still take. I'm going to tell you. You know, it's Mahomes and Burrow, and I'm not sure if I'm starting a franchise. There's a lot of other quarterbacks in this league I'm taking before him. I mean, you're going to tell me C.J. Stroud because he's the flavor of now, and you might end up being right.
Well, we'll just see on Red Zone what we think about that.
Oh, is that coming up?
Yes, it is.
All right, then I was just going to get into that, but we'll wait till 8:30 because I'm not giving up on this dude simply because he's had a few bad games, and if they don't even if they don't make the playoffs, I'm not giving up on that dude because I still think he's really, really, really good.
Yeah, giving up on Josh Allen would be a mistake.
Yeah. I do think there's going to be a change there. And JJ, there's no way Brian Daboll gets fired, right? He doesn't have to eat the roster. He's not going down because they gave him a crap roster, right?
He's not going down in
the Giants. Boy, but if they can get him back. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, some more NFL stuff. Does Carson Wentz have a future with the Carson Wentz is with the Rams. Rams were off this week. Is Carson Wentz their starting quarterback this week? Go ahead and get him. Pick him up in fantasy football. Is there a future there? We're going to get into that and what their coach has to say about that. Hey, the holidays are, they're not even around the corner. They're next week. Is that still around the corner or is that on the same block? Get your car taken care of. Then you can focus on your family. Call my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They will help you get your car cleaned, detailed, and looking like new. Jeff, I don't have time. My response is you don't need the time. They come to you. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you wherever and whenever it's convenient. What does that even mean, Jeff? Well, you're in the office, they're in the parking lot. You mean while I'm working? Yes. They're done, you get a text, you go outside, your car looks, feels, smells like the day you took it off the lot. People are going, literally it's happened. They're all staring at my car, watching them work. How can I get that? Well, you can have it. Plus, they offer window tint services for your vehicle. They offer a 10% discount for the military and teachers. The number's 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859, or you can learn all about them and book online at otsdetailing.com. That is otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
The Sports Animal.
So I got a couple texts, some of you watching on the feed, asking, and then I just walked out to get coffee, and Brandon Vogt says, hey Jeff, get in a fight last night? Yeah, I got my ass kicked. I my whole right side of my face is swollen. I had a little Mohs surgery yesterday, where they went in deep, carved into my right side of my beak and carved out a little of carcinoma. And so I woke up this morning, my whole right eye is puffy, and it looks like I got my ass kicked. So yeah, I did. That's the answer. But appreciate some of you watching on the feed. I got a couple of texts. You all right? What the hell happened to you? Yeah, that's what happened. I'm all swollen. Always all swollen. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go to the phones. And Mike wants to talk about last night. Good morning, Mike. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Good morning. I saw all the turnovers except the one right after the halftime. So was that a fumble?
Right after halftime. Yeah. Did you see the interception? Did you see the interception? One was an interception. One was a fumble.
There was three interceptions, I believe, and there was the one on the out pattern that Allen threw that was a mistake.
All right, so it was a fumble that you missed. You missed a fumble. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, two of those receptions could have extended. They went through the guy's hands, the receiver's hands. They would have extended the drive, who knows where that would have ended? I mean, honestly, it's really his team let him down. So for him to be a scapegoat for this whole thing is crazy.
Well, Mike, two were on him. The one you talked about, the out that he threw was a bad throw, and then he fumbled once. So two were on him.
That's the one I missed. The one I missed was a fumble. So was it that he was careless with the ball, or just scrambling like they do?
He just dropped it before he tried to hand it off to the running
that's
back.
right. It literally was a handoff that fell out of his hand. Like he dropped the ball as he was handing off with one hand. He literally dropped the ball. It was on him.
Gotcha. I look at it like, who would I rather have? I mean, I'm a Bronco fan, and when we got Russell, I mean, love the dude. I'm sure he's a great person. He's got some stats, but when I would watch him back in the day when we lost to them, I was in Vegas watching that game. My impression at the time is the guy he throws it up, and his receivers seem to make these glorious catches. I mean, tell me that that fall-away throw, was that just brilliant, or was that just a chance throw? I mean, it was really more about the reception, I think.
But he put it right where the only place he could have put it. I'm gonna give him credit on that one. I thought the reception was insane to stay in bounds. And for him to get away from the sack, I'm going to give Russ credit. I'm not a big Russ guy, but I'm going to give him a whole lot of credit on that play. I thought it was a great play.
Got you. And I'll take it, but I would take if I had my druthers, I'd take Allen as a quarterback.
Of course.
I'd take what his downside is. His upside's way more than his downside.
Yeah. No, Mike, appreciate you. Thanks. I agree with Mike. But yeah, two of those are on Allen, man. He dropped the ball on a handoff. He threw a bad pass. Bourne says, can I make a hot take, Jeffy? Josh Allen is the most overrated player in the league. There's a lot of people who feel that way. I disagree with you, but a lot of people feel that way. Right? Richard says, what about JJ's organization? Jeff, do we start looking at the Pumpkins' remaining slate and see if there are enough wins to get them in the state tournament? Are they a playoff contender now? The Broncos? They've won 3 in a row. You ready to bite?
No.
I'm not either.
They're not a team that's a laughingstock. They're not a team that. After that Miami game, I'm like, I don't care what the number is. Just give me all the points. I'm going the other way. But you are seeing a competitive football team. You are seeing why. Don't throw in the towel. Like, you can't do that. If you throw in the towel all the time, you throw away your organization. And this was a big tipping point for Sean Payton, even with the Denver Broncos. It wasn't all just Russell Wilson, got to move on from his contract, got to do that. Like, Sean Payton was stepping in, he was talking about everyone else's business way too much, not worrying about his own, and they found a way to compete. And that's a step in the right direction, because the Broncos, even bringing in Sean Payton, they still had a lot of steps to take. This was not going to be, well, Sean Payton's going to fix Russ overnight, and this team is going to be back in playoff contention. They got a lot of holes to fill in that roster still. But playing competitive football is a step back to figuring out how to be a playoff team in the future. The thing that is hard to do now with the Broncos is, I get Russell Wilson's getting paid what he's getting paid, but you got to adjust. Like, that last night is who he is. Like, it's efficiency with the football.
Last night to me is the best of who he is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's efficiency with the football. It's not 350 yards.
Oh.
Like, he completed 24 passes, still didn't get to 200 yards. But that's what they're figuring out is just best for this team to compete.
If they can run the ball like they did last night, and we've not talked about what Javonte Williams was able to do and what that offensive line did, if they can run the ball like they did last night, then you can win this way.
It's the rest
I
of
was
compete.
surprised.
It's not going to take you far when you just aren't able to finish drives in the end zone consistently.
Fair.
But it's a step in the right direction for this roster.
505-246-0610. Bronco fan, you're welcome in as well. And you got a big win last night. I gave you this before we went to break. Carson Wentz is a Ram. I don't know if that's even hit you yet until you see him as a Ram. So what's his future? Sean McVay is the Rams coach. He said that he does expect Matthew Stafford back this week. He's got a UCL sprain in his right thumb. Where's the UCL at? UCL.
Ligament, right?
In your thumb? Okay. I didn't know that. I'm not going to lie. Rams play Seattle Sunday. So yesterday, the coach was asked whether Carson Wentz is going to be on the team beyond the current season. Quote, I think that's to be determined. I think we're just excited about being able to get him in the building. We had a need. And like I mentioned, we're excited about getting Matthew back. But I think to have somebody that's played as well as he's played, has had as many experiences as he's had, to be out there and available is kind of rare. So we're excited about the opportunity to be able to get him into the building, and that's kind of where we're at right now as it relates to that, end quote. So he said nothing. All right. We talk about backup quarterbacks all the time. Tyson Bagent or Brett Rippon or Tommy DeVito or the league's full of them. Is Carson Wentz near the top of the list now when it comes to backup quarterbacks? The Rams they just went from a situation with Brett Rippon, they couldn't move the ball. They were embarrassing against the Packers. Literally just disgusting. Not only did they bring in Carson Wentz, they cut the guy who started the game. Like, when was the last time a guy started a game one week and got cut that next Monday? Can you recall that? Like, literally started the game at quarterback in the NFL and then got cut the next day.
It usually...
You get benched.
Yeah, usually just get benched.
He got cut.
They're like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, dude, we've seen enough. You're garbage, and I feel bad. I always like Brett Rippon, but and not only that, we're bringing in Carson Wentz to replace you. The Rams have one of the better situations of backup now with Carson Wentz, the guy that was sitting on the beach. I'm not sure they do. I have no idea.
There's more potential as Carson Wentz in a backup than Tommy DeVito. Then run it down the list.
Well, seriously,
like Carson Wentz,
Tyson Bagent
as a backup quarterback.
Yeah, Jameis Winston.
You feel okay because your worst case scenario. Oh well, he becomes your starting quarterback. Well, okay, they'll adjust your expectations accordingly. But if it's come in, Matthew Stafford still needs an extra week. Okay, Carson, you got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Go play some football.
Go throw him short passes. Yeah. I feel better than I did with Brett Rippon.
Easily.
And this probably was what was going to happen with Carson Wentz. Look, Carson Wentz is done as a starting frontline NFL quarterback. He's had how many chances with how many teams? Like, this isn't going to happen again. But, if you're going to tell me that's your backup, all right, I'll live with that. Hey, we got a sweet deal for you today. Go to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Hit it at 9 o'clock because these ones go quickly. 9 o'clock this morning, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon. And for just $25, you get $50 at Tomasitas. Nothing says Christmas like red and green chili with margaritas at Tomasitas. Book your holiday parties now. Enjoy happy hour in the bar Monday through Thursdays, 11 a.m. if you want to get started early. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's quick and it's convenient. On lunch every day, make it part of what you do. Tomasitas. Albuquerque loves a holiday party, and nothing says Christmas like they do. So go by. They're over on I-25 in Jefferson, right in front of Century Rio 24. Open every day for lunch and dinner. They are your sweet deal today. Hit our website. It is sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon at 9 o'clock and take advantage of $25 getting you $50 worth of Tomasitas. Courtesy of your good friends here at 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action Find it on ProView Networks.
In the National Football League, you heard it right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. You're home for all your NFL games. What do we get, Browns and Bengals or something? No, we just had, what don't we have a good one? Bengals and
Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Cincinnati, Baltimore this Thursday.
Must-win game for the Bengals.
Whoo! That's a big one, too. All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to get in, call, or text, let's get into the red zone with our good buddy DC.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
The Denver Broncos won their third consecutive game for the
Wait,
first...
what?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
God.
You already got it.
I got it, yeah. So they're technically still in the playoff race, but that seems like a long shot at best. So what do the Denver Broncos need to do over their last 8 games for you to say they had a successful season?
Just get better. I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think that, when they got beat 70-20 and they got run out of Miami, I think they just wanted to get better. To me, they've gotten better, right? Defensively, certainly they've gotten better. You're seeing glimpses of Russell Wilson being an NFL quarterback again. To me, a successful season from where they started right now is just get better. They're 4-5, they're in last place. If you can get to 8-9, I honestly, 9-8 would be a really successful season. But if you get to about 8-9, I think you got something that makes you feel better about next year.
Compete, and that is continue to develop pass rushers. There's some exciting young players in the front seven. Can they find anyone opposite Pat Surtain? I don't know if that person's on the roster, but just continue to take steps forward defensively and figure out what this offense is going to be with Russell Wilson. This is a team that they don't have a lot of playmakers. Like Jerry Jeudy is underwhelming. There's a reason that there was so much buzz around him at the trade deadline. I really like Cortland Sutton, but they don't have a tight end they ever throw to. Javonte Williams is good. So it's continue to manage expectations with Russell Wilson and put yourself in position to where you feel like you have something to build off of going into next year.
Second and goal.
Ready, down, put.
Well, the Buffalo Bills woke up this morning at 5-5 after finding themselves on the losing side of Monday Night Football. The playoffs are not out of the question for them, but it seems less likely by the week. So, similar question, what do the Buffalo Bills need to do over their last 7 games for you to feel like this season was not a total bust?
Make the playoffs. It's a total bust if they miss the playoffs. It's playoffs or bust for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, just stop turning the ball over. Stop hurting yourself. Stop turning the ball over. Stop. Like with all due respect to what the Broncos did last night, if the Buffalo Bills don't turn it over 4 times and or don't have 12 freaking guys on the field for their field goal block, 12 guys, and their 12th guy was 45 yards away from the ball, they win the game. We're having a totally different conversation. Stop beating yourself.
Third and goal.
CeeDee Lamb is making statements both on the field and off after securing double-digit receptions for over 150 yards in 3 consecutive games. Lamb said on the Cowboys website that he is, quote, the top receiver in the game. Do you agree with CeeDee Lamb? If not, where do you believe he lands in the list of top wideouts?
Yeah, I don't believe he's the top, but I believe he's, amongst the best. I would still tell you I think Justin Jefferson's better than him. I think Devontae Adams, probably in the right situation, is still better. Tyreek Hill's a different better. But I would tell you top, 6, 7, maybe even top 5. He's really, really good.
I'll give you the answer. He's the 5th best receiver in the NFL.
Is that top 5, right?
Not 6, 7, 8. No, he's better than Devontae Adams. He's more explosive at this point in time. Devontae Adams is still a really good catcher of the football.
I just think he's in a bad spot.
CeeDee Lamb has more explosiveness.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb is just quicker in and out of his breaks. Right now, it's Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and CeeDee Lamb.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, it is time to get real about Josh Allen. He's a good fantasy quarterback, but the turnovers are too much to be sustainable. We know Allen's not in the top tier with Mahomes, Burrow, and Hurts, but where do you slot him when compared to other franchise quarterbacks? I'm going to name a few guys, and I just want you to tell me.
All right, so is criteria for like right now the next 5 games, or is it I'm building a franchise and this is who I want?
It's right now. Where are we at right now? So, Lamar Jackson, you taking Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Interesting. Trevor Lawrence.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Okay. Dak Prescott.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Ooh, okay. CJ Stroud.
For the rest of this season? For like right now?
Right now, moving forward.
CJ Stroud.
Josh Allen.
Ooh. Justin Herbert.
Josh Allen.
Justin Herbert.
Brock Purdy.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
And finally, Jared Goff.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
I got to say, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. This morning when I was looking through the list.
Goff's been good, though, man.
All those guys have been good. So that I had a point this morning where I had myself convinced that Josh Allen might be the 14th best quarterback in the league.
Well, you're nuts.
And that's why I got off of it. I said I had a point. I've moved off of that. But, I mean, those turnovers are bad. And the one off the
Two
hands,
of them were bad.
Well, I'm sorry, but when you throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, it's not always going to get caught.
Well, look, I mean, you want to lob it down there and have somebody get in the way? That was a good pass. I'm sorry. The Gabe Davis pass was a good pass.
He should have caught it, yes. But I think there's more to it. Just it hit the hands, not the numbers. He throws with a lot of velocity. He should have caught that. I'm not excusing the miss, but I'm not going to put it 100% on the receiver either.
All right, I will. I looked down your list, and this is actually really intriguing, and you did a great job with this, as you always do. It's intriguing because you can make an argument for every one of those guys, right? Except for Dak, I think. I mean, Dak was the easiest one for me. I love what Brock Purdy's doing. Jared Goff was a tough one for Stroud was the toughest one for me because he's playing so well. Yeah. The answer, if you're telling me right now, I mean, Stroud's playing so well. So is Goff. I still think Josh Allen's a really, really good quarterback.
I agree with you on that. This is one where you don't want to throw away what he's done. In the moment, we're realizing that this Bills team, you need to adjust expectations, but I also don't think it's all just on Josh Allen. Like, if you're completing 70% of your passes, I don't think you're throwing too many fastballs. Like, you're putting it where your guys are catching it.
By the way,
they're making plays.
Even if you throw a fastball, catch the fastball, period. Sometimes it requires a fastball. I'm just saying.
Stand in front of a jugs machine for 5 minutes.
But sometimes it requires touch, and sometimes you got to zip it in to get it there.
And this is one where I definitely sound like a Josh Allen apologist this morning, but we look at that position and how hard it is to play and everything that goes into it. And there's certain guys that are good and then they're magnified. Like, I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. I'm not taking him over Josh Allen ever. If you're just saying, all right, where are you going forward with this team? And Josh Allen still has ways to keep you in games no matter what.
Text line, Josh Allen is phenomenal. The haters consist of jealous Dolphins, Pats, and Jets fans and people who were wrong about him prior to the draft. This Bills team is poorly coached. We knew it after 13 seconds, but now it's showing up weekly. Let me ask you this. And I've said that, and I firmly believe this, and I don't know where you guys are on this. 2 years ago, when Josh Allen drove the Bills down the field, seemingly beat Patrick Mahomes in the divisional playoff in Kansas City. 13 seconds on the clock, you won the game. And then Mahomes comes down, kick a field goal, win the coin toss, win in overtime. If the Bills win that game, are we having does he get way more leeway? that he got by Mahomes in the playoffs. Maybe he got by Joe Burrow the next week and got to the Super Bowl. Who knows, right? But are we having a totally different conversation every week about him if he would have beat Patrick Mahomes that day? If his defense could have held for 13 freaking seconds, do we give him way more leeway? Of course. We do, right? Other text says, never thought of it before, but the Bills should have traded for Hunter Renfrow. Would have been great. They're short on weapons, no doubt. That's where you're going on this, huh?
Yeah, and it's funny, too, because JJ brought up Renfrow a bunch of times when we were right around trade deadline, and that makes a ton of sense. This team would look totally different if they had a guy like that.
Yeah.
I do think it's a valid point when you're looking at, all right, Josh Allen, you don't want to take away what makes him good. You attempt that many passes. There's going to be a couple more interceptions in there. The touchdown numbers aren't quite as high as they've been, but he's still on track pretty much for his career averages across the board when it comes to touchdowns and interceptions in a season. I don't buy that at all, that there's not enough talent there. You have a first-round tight end that is playing a ton, and they're getting him involved. Gabe Davis is by number 2. You have a legit wide receiver 1.
I agree.
You saw James Cook when he holds on to the football. No, I'm in Latavius Murray. I'm interested. Do they ever get Leonard Fournette on the field? He's on the practice squad. Yeah, and Khalil Shakir is like a third-year player. You're trying to develop someone. Like, what else?
They have weapons. Yeah. Look, they just got to stop making mistakes. All right, when we come back, Cowboys have lost one of their key defenders for the season and maybe for the rest of his career. Cowboy fans, football fans, this is kind of a big deal, and it's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Networks.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up. Okay, thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Not good news this morning. This came down about, what time is it? About a half hour ago. Cowboy linebacker Leighton Vander Esch, season over because of his neck injury. He is, way more injured than not injured, correct? Leighton Vander Esch coming out of Boise State. When he plays, he is terrific. He has been hurt, the majority of the time, right?
Yeah, and this is one where it's unfortunate, but Dallas is comfortable playing without him.
All right. Not only is the season in jeopardy, his career is in question. Jerry Jones was on 105.3 The Fan this morning in Dallas. Quote, "We had just completely left it up to how he was evolving, but of course, it's such a very significant loss for us. He's an integral part of our defense out there. We just wish him well, and just the nature of his potential injury here causes me to really think longer term and beyond what it means for next week or beyond what it means for next month. It has everything to do what's in his best interest," end quote. So he was eligible to come off injured reserve this week. He got hurt back October 8 against the 49ers. He has lingering symptoms from that game. He was injured on a play where he was pushed from behind into the right leg of Micah Parsons. He jammed his neck. He's got a history of neck issues. And he had a fusion procedure following, a few seasons ago. He's played 41 of 51 games, but he broke his collarbone. He's got an ankle injury, a neck injury, and there's concern that he may never play again. This is a big deal for them. This is your point. They're used to playing without him. I always remember when Dat Win was it Dat Win or was it somebody else who was always really hurt? When he played, he was so good with them. But it was another guy who played linebacker for them that I just always assumed he was out. And I always just assume Leighton Vander Esch is out. Is that bad?
It's not bad. It's just
reality.
The reality of his career.
Well, it's a bummer for him. But that came down this morning. So it's a big, big deal for Cowboy fan, but he will not be back. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in, 888-922-0610. All right, so Do we have time? I just got a text from Bad Street, and it says, oh, God, did I just hear the classic Joe Barron call? Jeff, maybe there's hope that one day we'll once again hear from one-time legendary callers like JB. Not my Mondo, not your Mondo, our Mondo. Red Raider Troy, we really need a trip down Candelaria Boulevard. All right, do you have that whole clip that I just sent you? So I've told you about this in D.C. I told you this is one of the greatest calls ever on our air. This is, gosh, JJ, 10 years ago-ish? Maybe even longer
than that.
Joe Barron.
Because they were playing Utah.
Yeah, and we're not going to hear the whole thing, but I do want to take it from the beginning. This is one of the greatest calls ever, and Carlisle found it. And this is going to lead us into Mike Bradbury. He's going to be with us, the head coach of Lobo women's basketball, coming up at 9 o'clock. This is Joe Barron, the former voice. DC, I told you about this call. Lobos were beating Utah. This is a Mountain West game years ago, and Carlisle just dug up this night. I'm playing you this because it's one of the most amazing calls ever.
Messer, a baseball dangerous pass, knocked away, but Don ran it down, far sideline, Rodriguez open, oh God. Rodriguez scored, right baseline, did it count?
Did it count? Oh God. Is that one of the greatest ever?
Did it count?
It counts.
Rodriguez baseline, a baseball pass knocked away, and Rodriguez scoring in the corner.
That's it.
Some thought the shot clock, the game clock.
Some thought you did.
With 3 8/10 of a second.
Joe
left.
was so good. But that's one of the guys who preceded you as voice of the Lobos. Josh Sushan in between, and then so yeah, DC's clipped that. Oh God, and you'll hear that now and then. But thanks to Carlisle for digging that up. Is that as good as I told you it was?
That's a classic. I like that.
Oh God. All right, we're going to talk Lobo women's basketball. Ladies are back at it tomorrow in the pit. JJ will have the call here on the Sports Animal. They're off to a 3-0 start. Looking forward, really excited to talk to their head basketball coach. Mike Bradbury is going to be with us. How they jumped out to 3-0 start. What's he excited about? And what's there to look forward to? And how they get better. It's the opening drive. Mike Bradbury's next on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
Hi, I'm Michael Ojera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can.
And now Commerce are going. They're needless to say will be very familiar with what we do.
Yeah, and you know their head coach, and do they run what you ran? Is that having one of your former assistants be their head coach? Is that something you expect to see a mirror, or what do they look like?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. It looked like us in practice.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing.
When you talk about Pepperdine and Tarleton being a lot better, Mike, and so maybe in retrospect this was perfect, right? You said set it up a little easier, but to get these tests, especially a true road test, can only make you better down the line. Especially, look, I just think this is the way it's going to be every year. Every team, yours, theirs, is going to be significantly different from the year prior. That's just the way college athletics is.
Yeah, you're right on, Jeff. After we won the games, I was glad that team was a lot better. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to get quality wins instead of, easy wins, and it tested our team, and I think we'll be better off for it. I'm just glad we got out on the right side of it.
No doubt. He's Mike Bradbury, Lobo women's basketball coach. Lobo's back at it in the pit tomorrow night against Texas A&M Commerce.
Now, Coach, one of the things you talked about before the season was just kind of the attitude of this team, and even for you, just kind of the newness of working with different players. Their buy-in, their chemistry early in this season, how much has that impressed you of how this group has come together?
Yeah, it's probably the best since I've been here. They get along, they work hard, they have embraced our kind of new identity. We used to be high-powered, jacking threes, and playing in the 90s, and this team is built different, and we're going to have to win with defense, and we're going to win in the 60s, and we're going to out-rebound people and play physical. And, they've embraced that, and they like it, and we kind of play off of that.
And being able to bring in players that have experience but are taking a step forward, and that has been Nia Wilson in freshman and sophomore seasons at Syracuse, was a bench player. Now she's a starter for you. If fans haven't seen her yet, what has been so impressive about Nia Wilson?
She is a dynamic guard, combo guard, play the one or the two. She can make threes, but she can really put it on the floor, and she is great in transition. She's also one of our better defenders.
Mike, you talk about the new ones, and then I know you as a coach love to develop, right? And you see what Vianney Cumber's become, Anaya Ogman, Paula Reus. And so you've got some of the players at the top of your rotation, your key contributors are also, it's not just bringing in Nia Wilson. Now to watch players develop and see what Anaya Ogman's become. And I always have thought she's been so athletic, and it's fun now to see her become what she's become. What Paula Reus does, Vianney Cumber, it's got to be nice to see players develop as well to make this program continue to roll.
Yeah, and I appreciate you noticing that. That's the most rewarding thing, and we can go way back. Jaden De La Cerda, who was an all-conference player in this league, didn't play a second as a freshman, and then came off the bench and then was an all-conference player. Anaya Ogman comes here, like you mentioned, a great athlete. Now she's skilled. She can play. She runs our team. She's our point guard. There's a million of these examples, and 3 on our team right now that didn't play hardly at all as a freshman, and now they're thriving.
All right. Mike Bradbury's with us, Liberal women's basketball coach. So you play tomorrow night in the pit against Texas A&M Commerce, and then you're going to have a Mexican Thanksgiving. You go down to Cancun. You'll play Thanksgiving the day after. When do you go down? How do you look at this, right? You want the ladies to experience it. You want them to have some fun, but you got to go down there, and it's a business trip. And these ones are always tricky, aren't they? It's different when you play a tournament. Like Vegas, you go to all the time. Going to Cancun's kind of special. So how do you play the balance game here?
Yeah, we'll get down there Monday evening, and then we'll practice down there Tuesday, Wednesday. So on Tuesday, we'll practice really early in the morning, like at 8 a.m., and then we'll have a day out all day long on one of the excursions that they have. And we'll be gone all day for that, and that'll be fun for the kids. Then on Wednesday, we don't practice till a little bit later in the day, so we'll kind of have a relaxing day, watch some film, and then practice that night. And then we play Thursday, Friday, and so starting Wednesday night, it'll turn into a normal road trip for us.
So they get a little beach time on Monday, maybe certainly on Tuesday, a little bit on Wednesday afternoon, go out, enjoy the beach, don't drink the water, only bottled water, that kind of stuff, right? And
yeah.
And don't drink the water, by the way. That's what they tell me all the time. And then it's focused. What is Montana State and Georgia Tech? If you got to look at them, you get an ACC team in there.
Yeah, a little bit. Georgia Tech's really good. They're top 30 in the net. Montana State's a top 100 team. It'll be good. That's why we go and play in these things every year, is to make sure we get 2 quality opponents, and we always make sure that we get at least 1 Power 5.
Mike, when you talk about player development too, Ulda Joachim last year, it was her first year in Division I basketball. She was able to sit back and learn from another player that developed into a great forward in Sean Magruder, and now she's contributing off the bench. She is a skilled player. What have you seen from her being able to take that step forward, now being a part of your rotation?
Well, she's gotten better around the basket. She rebounds it a little bit better. She's gotten a lot more physical. She runs the floor. And then most importantly, just she works extremely hard. And she never gets outworked and out-hustled on the floor. And, she deserves an opportunity, and she's getting it now. And on Sunday, she made the most of it.
How good's your golf game get this summer? Do you get pretty good?
No, unfortunately, I have a talent problem, Jeff.
Yeah, me too.
When it comes to that, I enjoy it. I'm just not good at it, so I try to have fun.
Yeah, they keep telling me practice makes perfect, and I'm like, BS, man. Practice makes permanent, and it's not perfect. It's hardly that. It's a hard game.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's hard. Always appreciate the conversation. We'll catch up with you when you get back from Cancun. Good luck tomorrow night. Safe travels down to Mexico. Enjoy the Mexican holiday. The ladies play tomorrow night. Get out and see them. 7 o'clock in the pit against Texas A&M Commerce. They're really good. They're 3-0 off to a terrific start. Mike Bradbury is their head coach. Mike, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
All right, be well. Mike Bradbury. Look, you get to see him. You're the voice of the Lobos. You get to see him up close. And you know, sometimes everybody just looks at the name and says, oh, this is what they were last year, and this was their net. To his point, you get 10 new players on Pepperdine, 10 new players on Tarleton, and a lot of them power school transfers. It's a totally different looking team than you expected.
Yeah, you can't use anything from last year in either of those games. And I think what Mike said is correct, is that you scheduled it thinking, all right, you know, let's just try to get off to an easier start. And those were actually really fun, competitive games. They're both, you know, had their different moments in it, but it's been fun to watch this team because there's giant question marks with UNM, just like those other teams. You know, the same thing is, you're like, I don't know what Tarleton State or Pepperdine are going to be, but they're looking at UNM going, all right, there's 3 players that you think are going to be really good. You're not sure about Nia Wilson and Charlotte Cole, and then you see them together and you're like, oh, this is going to be interesting to watch them develop this year. This is going to be a really competitive team.
Yeah. All right, we're resetting when we come back, get into the Cowboys injury issues. The Broncos beating the Bills last night. Did the Broncos win? The Bills lose? The answer is absolutely. How did it happen? What does it mean moving forward? And I got some really good response from you all. At 505-246-0610 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, you're home for Sunday night and Monday night and DC, even Thursday night football. Celebrate.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
610, the sports animal.
All right, news this morning. I don't know that this is insanely surprising, but it is relatively significant. Cowboys' Leighton Vander Esch out for the season, and he may never play again. His career is in question with the neck injury. I think, Cowboy fan, you're used to him being out. JJ, I was asking earlier, and was it Dat Win? I said there was another really good linebacker, but every time he played, he was great, but I always expected he was out. Text line covered me on this, and thank you for this. The answer is Sean Lee. The Cowboy linebacker, Sean Lee, and that's 100% the answer. And appreciate, I just couldn't remember who it was. But yeah, a guy that was always so good when he played, just I always expected that he was not playing. Right? But that's a big deal. Broncos were winners last night. 24-22, they got a second chance at a last-second field goal because, well, the Bills had too many men on the field. He's like, what are we doing? But it is. Ron says on the email, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. You can hit JJ at, imagine this, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Can we pass a new talk show rule, Jeff? We need to stop with the XYZ team should be improved because they added a bunch of mercenaries. Not every mercenary makes you better. It's from Ron. No, we can't, because theoretically, if you're recruiting and adding transfers, and look, if you're Pepperdine or if you're New Mexico, if you're Tarleton, and you add a bunch of transfers from power conference schools, theoretically, you're going to be better. Now, does it always work? No. But no,
it's if you've watched any basketball over the last 3 years, it is a much quicker turnaround. Because you look at that Pepperdine team, and just Maya Gordon is their best player, transferred from Alabama, and she's absolutely a difference maker right away.
She went from Alabama to Malibu?
Yeah. I mean, Tuscaloosa to Malibu is...
I'm just saying. I've been to both.
For a big upgrade.
Tuscaloosa is beautiful. It is not Malibu.
Like, are you going to sit here and think Pepperdine and Tarleton State are automatically winning their conferences? No, but they were much different teams anywhere.
His point's not wrong, though, in regards to everybody's got transfers, and not everybody's better, right? So who do you get? So fair, Ron.
Yeah.
Are they automatically improved because they added transfers? No, theoretically they are, and often they are, right? Often. But you're right, everybody's got transfers.
But that's
and not everybody's
like
better.
Was it Thursday morning, someone wrote in and was like, oh, this is going to be a walkthrough tonight, isn't it? And it's like, no.
Yeah, we did get that. Because they looked at last year's plus 200 net ranking. Yeah. No, we absolutely got that. Yeah. All right. If you want to get in on the Broncos last night, hey, Bronco fan, where are you? I mean, are you just do you feel sheepish? Because you feel like you just escaped Western New York with that win? Because they your field goal kicker pushed it right with the game on the line, and you got another chance handed to you because they had 12 guys on the field. And then he went from GOAT to hero. How about the difference between Will Lutz's ride home from Denver or from Buffalo to Denver? Because they had 12 dudes on the field. He has to get on that plane with all those dudes who just emptied it and missed the field goal that would have won it. As opposed to now he gets on the plane with all those dudes who emptied it, and he's the hero because he won the game. I mean, the luckiest guy in America last night was Will Lutz, right?
Yes, he was. Lucky Lutz.
He missed an extra point. Doinked. The other extra point went his fault, went right through your punter's hands. And then he misses a field goal to win the game, and he's a GOAT, and you're like, I can't believe this. Oh, wait, there's a flag. Not even offsides, by the way. Not even a guy jumped. They had 12 guys on the field because they can't count. Jeff, that's horrible coaching. I don't know, man. Players and coaches all talk about how we worked on this all week. We worked on it. We went over it a number of times. I asked you this question again because I know that the audience turns over, and I was on this earlier. But I'll ask it again. Something like that happens, and the automatic response is, oh, they're horribly coached. How can that happen? They're a poorly coached team. Got it. I understand the initial response. But if they're all going to sit there and tell you that they practiced it, whether it was Friday, whatever it was, they went through this. Getting your dime package off and getting your field goal block team out there. They went through this. They practiced it. And somebody got on the field that shouldn't have got there. Do you automatically just blame the coach? Or isn't it the dude who shouldn't have been on the field? Isn't that the knucklehead player's fault at some point?
That one feels, I'm blaming the players. Because the Broncos are ready. They missed the kick, but they had their field goal team ready to go, or ran on the field.
Well, and they had done it right at the end of the first half, the exact same thing.
Set it up, got the snap off, no problems, missed kick.
Yeah.
The Broncos were ready for that situation. The Bills, someone forgot their job. To just have 12 dudes standing there. It wasn't like they caught someone running off the field late. No, there are 12 guys lined up in a kick block formation.
Now, you can tell me the special team coach has to count how many guys. They didn't have a timeout, first of all. So they couldn't have run a guy. But somebody was out there and shouldn't have been. And if, in fact, you were coach and you were sleeping through that drill or whatever, I don't know, man. I struggle. Are they a great coach team? I'm not going to sit here and tell you they are. And Sean McDermott's taking a lot of heat, and he should. But dang it, do your job. What does Belichick say all the time? Just do your job. Jerry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jerry.
Good morning. So I was watching that game and switching back and listening to Peyton.
Yeah, and so good.
You know, they were kind of giving it to him. But if there was ever a game where neither team deserved to win, that was the game.
Yep.
And I was texting back and forth with a good buddy that's a big Bills fan, and I've become a Bills fan because the Broncos are so bad. But they never throw the ball deep. They have a very boring offense. Now I understand they're getting the running game going, which is good, but they're just not very good. And Russell Wilson made some great plays, but team wise, they'll be lucky to finish above 500.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think you're right, Jerry. No, it's a great call. And they were lucky to get out of there last night with a win. Jerry, thanks for the call. He's not wrong. That's a great assessment on the Broncos. They were lucky to get out of there. They're not very good. They don't throw the ball deep. They established the run. That's who they are right now, right? I think there's a great assessment on that.
Yeah, and that's no surprise. They're just trying to build something. They're just trying to go into next year with a little bit of a foundation of, hey, we have some young players actually starting to play defense. We're managing, resetting expectations for Russell Wilson, and figuring out what the next step is for the franchise.
Frank, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Frank.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I won my pool because Denver won last night. $250.
How'd you feel when that field goal went right? You didn't feel all that good, did you?
Oh, man, I was unbelievable.
$250 later, you're feeling good. Attaboy.
I'm going to Billy's Long Bar. I'm going to spend all of it on Long Island iced tea.
I'll meet you there. What time we going?
At 4 o'clock. I'll see you, Jeff.
See you there. I'm going
What's going on with Mr. House? We need this guy. We need him.
You know, I think this is a real issue, and we'll see when they go out on Thursday. Lobo basketball. Jalen House is out with a hip injury. JJ, you weren't with us on Friday when Grammer was with us after the game, and I asked them, and Frank, it's a fair question. At what point are we really concerned about this? Is this a lingering, lasting problem? And we might be there. I don't know the answer. All I know is he missed a whole lot of preseason camp and didn't play in the St. Mary's game. And I agree with you, man. This is a big deal for Lobo basketball.
He's our spark plug.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you, Frank.
Thanks.
Be well. You weren't with us. You were traveling on Friday. We had Jeff Grammer in, the beat writer for the Albuquerque Journal who covers the Lobos, and I asked him straight up, I mean, at what point is this become a real concern? And he agreed with me. We're at that point. Like, this is...
Right now, yes.
Yeah, Jalen House. I love me some Donovan Dent. I think he is a terrific point guard. I think he's a terrific player. Jalen House, there's no argument to be made that you're better with Jalen House not playing. None. Some of you don't like him, that's fine. You're 0-3 without him. And at what point... Well, let's hit that. That's breaking news. No, that is breaking news. Bills,
after the break,
yeah,
we got some breaking news on the Bills.
We do.
But I want to finish your thought on Jalen House.
Yeah, finish it, because I need your thought. I'm concerned about Jalen House's availability.
You have to be. You missed the amount of time he did in the preseason, get back on the court, and it's aggravated enough to where you can't take the floor against St. Mary's, and you want to be patient. You want to give Jalen House enough time to be whatever he can be this season, because he is so important to this team. He's the spark plug on and off the floor. His offense, his defense is taken for granted. And he's a pest. He just brings so much energy on both sides. And
did he lead the league in steals?
Yeah, and now it's an opportunity for development. Like, they need to find another shooter. As good as Donovan Dent is, he's not a shooter, and this team still has to figure out a way to stretch the floor, because it can't just be all Jamal Mashburn. And so you're looking at Jamal Maker. You're looking at that rotation where they don't have a true inside post to just dump it into offensively, and they have to adjust. And this is going to be a challenge for a team that has high expectations this season.
All right, when we come back, Bills get beat last night by the Broncos. This morning, they make a significant coaching change. That is next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear.
All right, big news in the NFL. Buffalo Bills have fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, after last night. The fall guy is Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, after losing to the Bills last night. If that kick doesn't go wide, right? Or if they don't have too many guys on the field, is Ken Dorsey still employed today?
He probably still has a job.
Yeah.
But them's the breaks.
Yeah. So that's how that went down, and somehow they think that's going to flip their season.
Well, it's, as we have had so much Josh Allen conversation this morning, I think the Buffalo Bills are looking at a team that is lacking explosiveness right now. Now, you're not completely changing who Josh Allen is, but can you get a better game plan together? Where, you look at all these turnovers, and as we've discussed, they're not all created equally, but that the second interception, Josh Allen, there's just a terrible pass. Like, where was that going? And just cleaning things up, trying to put that frustration behind you. Because with Josh Allen on the field, they should have a chance, even with a tough schedule.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Down the stretch.
All right. Hey, DC, 8 years ago today, I know you weren't here, 8 years ago today, November 14th, 2015, the best sports day in the history of Albuquerque. Today is the 8-year anniversary. God, it can't be 8 years, can it? Of Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. Holly left kick to the face of Ronda Rousey, drops Ronda Rousey. Buster Douglas type of upset feel at the time, right? Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson at the time. And Holly just absolutely shocked the world. And Ronda Rousey was beating fools within seconds. And boom! And that was it. And the world went freaking nuts. Holly Holm beats Ronda Rousey. And then a few hours later, the Lobos were like 26.5-point dogs and went into Boise State and beat the Broncos on the blue.
The late Markel Bird
with that stop at the end.
Game-saving tackle at the end of the contest. What an unbelievable sports night.
You know what's crazy about that night?
And you know what Holly Holm finally gave Albuquerque?
A championship.
A parade.
Yeah. I remember that night so vividly. And I can't believe it was 8 years ago. And I remember where I was. I remember the party I was at. And it was everybody was there to watch the fight. And I remember Stig came in and Holly won't make it through the first round. I said, I'll take that bet. And
still waiting on that, Stig.
That's right. But Stig's been good to me. But she won't get through the first round. Ronda didn't get through the second. And then everybody was in euphoria, and then it's, well, hey, let's put on the Lobo game, and we're all having a few, and all of a sudden the Lobos are up big and up big and up big, and it's like everything turned to the Lobo game. And DC Lobos were stunning Boise State in this game on the blue. And the last play of the game, would they win by 6? I want to say. Boise State dude takes off, and there is nobody in the frame wearing white. And back at about the 5-yard line was the late Markel Bird, who makes a tackle on the last play of the game at the 3-yard line, right?
It's 31-24.
31-24. So they would have tied it up right there. It was the best. That was the best sports night in the history of Albuquerque. How'd it sound? This was on pay-per-view, whatever, UFC pay-per-view, right?
Beautiful. She's hurt. She's in trouble. She's hurt. Holly looking to finish. Holly Holm is the new UFC bantamweight champion of the world. Oh my God.
That's 2 oh gods today. Totally different, right? 1 oh God and 1 oh my God. Yeah, just watching the video. 8 years ago tonight. Where were you, boys and girls? I know you remember where you were as we celebrate, JJ, the 8-year anniversary.
Tonight.
Literally. I mean, in DC, I'm not lying. Like this is a town that doesn't have, a million great sports moments. This isn't when we won the Stanley Cup. Oh, remember when the Nuggets won? Remember when? No. There aren't a lot of those. And for Holly, first of all, she didn't just win the belt that night. She stunned the globe that night. Like there's, we're going to go shock the world. No. This was a literal shock the world moment. And then, so that was on a global thing. I don't know that anybody else noticed outside the Mountain West that the Lobos beat Boise State that night. But that was still big bad Boise State, right?
Yes, it was.
They were still the big bad Broncos. That was 8 years ago tonight. The single, and I've been here 27 plus years. But even those of you who've been here longer than me, I think everybody recognizes that night as the best sports day in the history of Albuquerque.
So I'm guessing it was a Saturday night.
It was a Saturday night.
So what happened? The fight goes down, the game goes down. Do people go downtown? Was it a big party or what happened?
I think everywhere everybody was, people just wobbled in their shoes, so to speak. It was probably one of those where I think I told Audra to stop drinking because I am. You're getting us home tonight. We were over at a good buddy, Robert Medina's place, and he had a big party up there. And it was literally, to watch the fight. It was come up and watch Holly fight Ronda. And look, Holly fighting Ronda in its own right was a big deal, right? And the odds were overwhelming. This was when Ronda was with the armbar beating fools within 20 seconds, right? Her fights were lasting 20 seconds. And Holly was kind of trying to make her name. Look, Holly in this town, and this is before you were here, Holly is a Hall of Fame boxer. I don't know if you know that. She's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. She was a world champion boxer. She was the best women's boxer in the world, period.
At one time, yeah.
Okay. She makes the transformation to UFC, and she's trying to make her move. And so she gets her chance, and she's the next sacrificial lamb, theoretically thrown in front of Ronda Rousey. And Ronda was, I will argue with you, outside of Tom Brady, LeBron James, maybe Peyton Manning at that time, Ronda was as big of an athlete as there was in this country right about then.
Yeah, what Ronda Rousey did was put women's MMA on the map in the UFC. What she was doing, she was out-athleting people. She was
the biggest star in UFC.
She was a star.
Was there a bigger male star in UFC at that point?
There were, that
crossed over.
Not to Ronda Rousey. They were still. You look at GSP, that was pretty good timing for what UFC was going through overall. But there was that crossoverness because it was new, and there were women fighting for championships. There were women fighting on pay-per-view. Something Dana White was like, "This is never going to happen in the UFC," and you're like, "Well, this is entertaining, and these are very skillful women." And so, and that was a turning point for MMA because Ronda Rousey put them on the map. And I so many people wanted to discredit her after the fight, and I was like, no, she might have been a one-trick pony, but she built the foundation for everyone else. Without Ronda Rousey, you're not getting the views, you're not getting the opportunities that you have today. So what happened was Ronda Rousey laid that foundation, and then Holly Holm came in and said, guess what? This is mixed martial arts. And Holly Holm was the bridge to now the well-rounded pound-per-pound fighters we see in women's mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I think it's such a great synopsis of that. You're 100% right. And as you look back on it 8 years later and what the women's fight game has become, it is a legitimate part. I'm not telling you that it's going to outdraw a John Jones fight, right? Yeah. But that fight, Ronda Rousey was outdrawing. At that point, she was more compelling to watch than anybody, including GSP.
You were watching for how fast can she end this?
100%. 100%. And Holly was going to be the next sacrificial lamb, and she was different. I remember having that conversation with Stig. I said, she's just smarter than that. Holly's not going to get caught with that. And all of a sudden, she hurt Ronda early. Adrian, great work. If you're watching it on ProView Networks, or if you're watching it on our Facebook page, he's showing you the highlights of the fight.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
All right. What are people going to be talking about as you go through your day? Get you properly prepared to go through your day. First and foremost, today is the 8-year anniversary of Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey at UFC 193. Ronda didn't touch gloves. Remember that?
Ooh.
They came out, Ronda didn't touch gloves. I can't watch it enough, man. Holly came out just punching. So that's a big deal. People are going to be talking about the Broncos win 24-22 over the Bills last night. Will Lutz with a field goal on his second attempt to end it. First attempt went wide right. However, Bills had 12 men on the field, so they got to go again. So that's the deal. They will also be talking about the firing of Ken Dorsey, the Bills' offensive coordinator. He is the one who took the hit. So fired today was Ken Dorsey. Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, out for the season, and with the neck injury, his career is in jeopardy. He may never play again. So that's what people are going to be talking about. If you missed any of the conversation we had today, you are encouraged to go find it on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, or wherever it is you get your podcast. Jerry Kill was with us today. Go to sportsanimalabq.com, click on Opening Drive. You can hear the conversation with Jerry Kill as the Aggies get set to go play at Auburn of the SEC this week, JJ. Coming off a victory at Western Kentucky, a victory that clinched the spot in the Conference USA Championship game in their first season there. Who's coach of the year in that league? Is it Jerry Kill? Is it Rich Rodriguez, who's got Jacksonville State, who's transitioning and theoretically not eligible for a bowl game, but will be in one, I think. Got them at 7-3. Or Liberty's undefeated and on the precipice. I don't know if they were ranked 25th or not, and my computer's down. But they got three coaches who've done a job in that league. Huh?
Oh, they do. Is it voted on right after the regular season?
I maybe.
If Liberty goes undefeated, probably the edge over Jerry, but man, splitting votes.
Well, and what Rich Rod's done.
Yeah.
I mean, who thought, like, Rich Rodriguez, Jacksonville State was at South Carolina 2 weeks ago. SEC, South Carolina, and they went in the fourth quarter. It was 20-28. They lost 38-28. Liberty's ranked 25th in the nation. They are undefeated. Now, Jeff, who they beat? Fair enough. They haven't gone out and played a brutal schedule. But to your point, they're undefeated. Look, if Tulane gets clipped again, and by the way, Tulane won by 2 points again last week. They're skating by games in the American, and they're once beaten. If they get clipped again, is Liberty?
Yes. An undefeated team starts climbing up there.
Because James Madison isn't eligible. And from what I understand, I've had this conversation. So James Madison, if they do get into a bowl game, and the way James Madison or Jacksonville State would get into a bowl game is if there's not enough, you need 82 teams to qualify to fill all the bowl slots. If the bowl slots aren't filled, the first place they go is the teams transitioning who would have qualified with 6 or 7 wins, and both James Madison and Jacksonville State would get in. James Madison, from what I understand, though, would not qualify for the New Year's Six game. Liberty has, outside of conference, played Bowling Green, Buffalo, UMass. There's got to be more, right? What else don't I see? Bowling Green, Buffalo, UMass, and Old Dominion. But they beat teams, man. They beat what they beat New Mexico State 31-17. The Aggies, I know, want another shot at them. By the way, I was looking at how to get to Lynchburg for the Conference USA Championship game. It might be flying to Raleigh and drive 2.5 hours north.
Okay.
Yeah, not sure how. It's not easy. All right, Holly Holm, Jeff Carl says, Jeff, I'm going to take a larger view. 8 years later, Ronda never won another fight. Holly Hottie Holmes' career stalled, and we're still talking about the same women in the UFC as then. There hasn't been the fresh infusion of elite fighters everyone expected. I'll tell you,
there are good champions, but the depth is a fair question. But Amanda Nunes was unbelievable.
Yeah, and not there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 years later, Holly's still there. There's still some of the same, but there are new names. Look, if it wasn't for Ronda, we're not talking about any of them. And that's the point, Carl. I think you're right in some respect. But let's not take away, because whatever you think Ronda did or did not do after that, let's not take away what Holly did that night and what it meant. Because in the moment, it was insane. Ricardo says, I'll never forget that night. Had a little get-together at the house. Every single person at the house stood up, screamed, and looked at each other in stunned silence. Yeah. Yeah, you all, I mean, it's funny, man. And have these conversations as you go through your day. Have these conversations. Tell people, hey, it was 8 years ago today, remember? And everybody's got a story. Do you see, this is one of those where everybody, for whatever reason, and I know what the reason was. It was Holly fighting Ronda. Ronda was the biggest thing in sports right then. I mean, wasn't she? Yeah. She was as big as there was in American sports at that point. And I remember saying that day, or the week before, if Holly beats her, she's the biggest sports story in America. And she was on Good Morning America, and she was on all the crossover shows, right? Not just on all the sports shows. She became the biggest sports story in America. And everybody watched it because it was that big. So whatever the long-term effects was, whatever you think it was or it wasn't, there is no downplaying the significance of that moment when it happened. There is none. It was insane. It was flat out insane. 8 years ago today. I was telling Brandon, BV, so if you want something for your show today, here you go. All right, Deutschen, 223.5 point spreads. Jeff, which is the most likely to cover this weekend? Fresno State against the Lobos, Auburn against New Mexico State. You got to take one of the favorites laying 23.5. Who you like?
Fresno.
It's a tough one, honestly. I feel like the Lobos have been playing well, but they haven't been covering, have they? Games have just been getting away from them. Like, I feel like, I looked at the UNLV game, right, where they got beat by, I think, 21. 40, was it 42-21, something like that? And you look at the stats, it's like, wow, they didn't play that poorly with some turnovers. I look at the Boise State game, you look at the stats, they weren't out, they weren't horrible, but they got run out 42-14?
UNLV is 56-14.
56-14?
Boise State 42-14.
56-14. You look at the stats of that game, it doesn't even say that. But yeah, they're not covering. So trends would tell you, if you're going to take one of the dogs, it would be New Mexico State, right? Interesting. All right, I want to make sure I get all these in. Hondo says, Jeff, it feels like Lowell football starting over next year, regardless of who's the coach. On offense, they need guys to complement Dampier and Bill. Defensively, they need a complete reboot. They need playmakers at every position. The only one they have now, Combs, and he's always hurt. Is it a reboot? Is it a complete reboot?
I don't think it's a complete reboot on offense because Caleb Medford, TJ Washington, Luke Wysong.
Yep. We'll see. This is interesting. Not what they want to hear locally, but Lincoln Riley should get Zach Arnett as his defensive coordinator. Zach Arnett's going to get paid to be someone's defensive coordinator, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. Lincoln Riley reaching out to Zach Arnett would not be a bad idea, would it? Every coaching vacancy, San Diego State keeps. Those guys are telling me, well, whoever the coaches, they got to bring in Zach Arnett as defensive coordinator. Around here, Danny's got to call Zach and bring him home and be the defensive coordinator. He may be as hot a defensive coordinator prospect as there is in America, huh? He's going to get paid just fine.
He'll be all right.
Would he get $4 to $5 million to walk away there too, right? And it's offset. Thanks to Jerry Kill. He was with us, the New Mexico State head coach. If you want to hear that, it's over on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, or wherever it is you get your podcast. It's there. So is Mike Bradbury, global women's basketball coach. Appreciate both of them spending some time with us today. The Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. And then 3 of us will come back. You want to do award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m.? DC, great work. Always. Adrian, I know you're still there. We had a little power outage, but boy, he had the video up for Rhonda and Holly and everything. It looks great. Big day for you.
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
and no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros